It was a crisp winter morning in Mumbai. The sun had barely risen, but the streets around the courthouse were already buzzing. Camera crews were setting up their tripods. Reporters clutched their microphones. Onlookers craned their necks, eager to get a glimpse of the day's main attraction. This was no ordinary hearing. This was the divorce case of Arjun Malhotra, one of the richest industrialists in India, and his wife, Saira Malhotra. For months, the media had feasted on the scandal. Photos of Arjun and his alleged mistress had been splashed across magazines and news sites. Speculation about secret affairs, hidden bank accounts, and a mysterious child had filled gossip columns. But today, the drama was about to reach its climax. Inside courtroom number 5, Saira sat quietly in the front row. She wore a simple cream-colored sari. Her face was pale but calm. Her dark eyes held a strange mixture of exhaustion and quiet strength, the kind of look only someone who has been through a storm can carry. She had been married to Arjun for 10 years. When she met him in college, he was just a young man with big dreams and an even bigger smile. He wasn't wealthy then, but he had charm, ambition, and the ability to make her believe anything was possible. Saira remembered those early days well, the long bus rides, the cheap street food dinners, the whispered promises under the stars. She had turned down a safe, arranged marriage proposal from her parents to be with him. She had stood by him through the struggle, through the sleepless nights and risky business ventures. And then came the money. With it came the lifestyle, luxury cars, lavish parties, expensive holidays. But also, with it, came distance. Conversations became shorter. Dinners together became rarer. And then, one day, she found the first message on his phone. At first, she told herself it was harmless. A business meeting that ran late. A pretty intern who sent friendly texts. But then there were more messages. More nights when he didn't come home. More lies that didn't quite fit together. When she confronted him, he laughed it off. "You're imagining things, Saira. Don't turn into one of those jealous wives." And she, foolishly, let it go. But the whispers began. Her friends stopped inviting her to certain gatherings. She heard the name Avni whispered behind her back. And then came the photograph in a tabloid, Arjun and a stunning young woman, walking hand in hand through the lobby of a 5-star hotel. It was no longer a rumor. It was reality. And when Saira confronted him again, he didn't deny it. In fact, he told her he wanted a divorce, that he wanted to marry Avni. But then, things got uglier. Avni was pregnant. She claimed the child was Arjun's. And Arjun, instead of fighting the accusation, embraced it. He paraded her at social events, smiling for cameras, acting like the perfect expectant father. Saira's world collapsed. She wasn't just losing her marriage. She was losing her dignity, her name, her peace. But then, her lawyer suggested something bold. "Let's demand a DNA test," he said. "If it's his child, fine, but if it's not, the truth will destroy his case." And that's how the envelope came to be. A single sealed document on the judge's desk, containing the result of the court-ordered DNA test. The heavy wooden doors to the courtroom swung open. Arjun entered. He was dressed immaculately in a black designer suit, his hair perfectly styled. That same confident smile, the one that had once charmed her, now looked smug, almost mocking. And on his arm was Avni, glowing in a red designer dress. Her hand rested gently on her rounded belly. They walked in as if they owned the place, pausing slightly for the cameras before taking their seats. Arjun even leaned over to whisper something to Avni, making her laugh softly. Saira didn't flinch. She sat straight, her hands folded neatly in her lap. But inside, her heart pounded. The next few minutes could change everything. The judge entered. Everyone stood. When they sat again, the judge reached for the envelope, broke the red wax seal, and pulled out the papers inside. The room fell completely silent. Every breath, every rustle, seemed loud in the stillness. The judge's eyes scanned the document. His brow furrowed slightly. Then he looked up. According to the report. He paused. The child is not the biological offspring of Mr. Arjun Malhotra. The words hung in the air. For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. It was as if the entire room had forgotten how to breathe. Arjun's smile vanished instantly. His face turned pale. His eyes darted toward Avni, who stared at the floor, her lips trembling. From the back of the room, reporters scribbled furiously. Camera shutters clicked. Saira looked straight at Arjun for the first time that morning. There was no gloating in her eyes. No revenge. Just the deep, quiet relief of someone who had finally been freed from a lie. The judge's voice cut through the silence. Mr. Malhotra, this court does not take kindly to deception. You have not only betrayed your wife's trust, you have also attempted to mislead these proceedings. Arjun's lawyer tried to object, but the judge silenced him with a raised hand. Avni stood suddenly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. Without a word, she walked quickly out of the courtroom, her heels clicking sharply on the marble floor. Arjun remained seated, staring at the desk in front of him, his jaw clenched. The judge continued with the proceedings. Saira was granted a divorce. She was awarded full custody of their daughter. The settlement was generous, enough to secure her future. But to Saira, the money meant nothing. What mattered was that the truth was out. That the man who had humiliated her, belittled her, and dismissed her was now stripped of his lies in front of the whole world. When the hearing ended, Arjun slipped out a side door, avoiding reporters. Outside the main entrance, microphones and cameras swarmed toward Saira. She stopped at the top of the courthouse steps. The winter sun warmed her face. She took a deep breath and looked up at the cloudless sky. For the first time in months, she smiled. Not the smile of victory. Not the smile of revenge. But the smile of a survivor. She turned to the reporters and spoke just one sentence. The truth always comes, sooner or later. And with that, she walked down the steps, each step lighter than the last. Her marriage was over. Her heart was bruised, but not broken. She was free.